What is up, guys? Troy here, and today is Sunday, which means it's time for the weekly gaming roundup. First up, a little note about the gameplay that I want to talk about. It's basically a mashup of a couple of different games: Conquest Assault on Strike at Karkand and TDM on those hair canals. Decent games, the both of them. Had a lot of fun. But in the canals game here in the beginning, I do try to snipe a little bit. I've never been a real big sniper in any first-person shooter. I just don't have the patience for it, and I really like to be more aggressive, so, that's why you see me run Engineer or Assault a lot more often, but, I like to try it out sometimes, so I do try to use the SV98 here in the beginning, but let's get the gaming news underway. Now, the first bit of gaming news is about the Steam Summer Sale. Yes, it is officially underway at this time. Now, I'm going to link a few articles related to the Summer Sale, and one of them is actually a really good article. It gives you basically an overview on how to get the most savings and the best deals on the games that you're buying. I know I'm certainly going to pick up quite a few games myself. I have a pretty large and substantial backlog of games that I want to play, and I just haven't had too much time over the past month or two to play a lot of games other than Battlefield 3 here and there and a few other small games, but nothing big. And I really want to pick up quite a bit of games that I've been looking forward to. Games like the new Tomb Raider, The Witcher 2, The Walking Dead, and all the episodes that are associated with it. I'm thinking about getting Metro Last Light, and I really actually want to get Skyrim as well. I know I'm kind of late to the game on Skyrim, but I used to be a big fan of the Elder Scrolls series. I played the first game, and then I played Daggerfall. Daggerfall was actually the last Elder Scrolls game I played. I think I was 13 or 14 when I played that, and I just fell in love with that game. I could sit there for hours playing that one because it just had such a in-depth and immersive world to it. So it's Skyrim is definitely something I would really look forward to picking up on the Steam Summer Sale, and then look into like a lot of the mods that are available on the PC side. And there's probably a bunch of other games as well that I want to pick up over the next few weeks. I'm not sure at this point. I just have to see what the deals are, because they have the whole daily deals set up when they do the Steam Summer Sale. But I'm definitely lots of game playing to be had over the next coming weeks and coming months, and I certainly like to hear what you guys have in mind if you're gonna dabble in the Steam Summer Sale. What games are you gonna pick up? What games are you looking forward to? Certainly like to hear your guys' comments and thoughts on that topic. Next up on the gaming news wire, and these two stories are going to be all about control schemes in gaming. Now, the first article I'll link about it basically calls for the ability to have players customize their control scheme and layout for next-gen consoles on the next-gen console controllers. Now, this has been an idea for quite some time. I remember hearing about this back in the PS2 days. Not totally sure why this hasn't been implemented sooner, actually. The only reason I can see as to why it hasn't is probably laziness on the part of the developers. But switching between games and having to refamiliarize yourself with the button layout for different games can really be a pain, and giving the individual players and users the ability to basically keybind your controls on console would certainly make gaming a lot better for anybody playing on console. Now, it's something that PC has had the ability to do for quite some time. Older PC games can, of course, be limited in their keybinding ability, though. Games like the old Rainbow Six series, certain actions I can't really keybind in the actual game. I usually have to use my mouse software to kind of map my controls that way if I'm going to remap something on the mouse, or use the software that I use for my keyboard to remap any keyboard keys that might be limited in that particular game. But I don't understand why the consoles don't have this ability. Now, I understand a controller, basically its layout is less than, say, a keyboard. There are less buttons, there are less controls, so your different control schemes are limited, but the fact that having custom key binding ability would just be really great for the controller on the consoles, and certainly something I would like to see. Now, speaking of control schemes, the next article I'm going to link is actually about DICE is contemplating adding mouse and keyboard support to the PS4. Now, I'm not so sure about the Xbox. I don't remember if they're mentioned in the article, but they mainly talked about the PS4 and Battlefield 4 adding mouse and keyboard support. Now, I know this is a controversial topic, if you could even call it that, but this is something I support. As of now, when I play on console, I do not use a controller. I use a mouse and keyboard. I can't use a PS3 controller for first-person shooters, and honestly, I don't understand why anybody would want to. The accuracy, the precision just isn't there. Now, a lot of people don't like this. They don't think it's fair. And yes, using a mouse and keyboard on the console does give me an advantage. But does it make me invincible? No. Especially not with a game like Battlefield 3, which has a game mechanic like suppression. And controllers have aim assist, which have a lock-on ability, which I believe, when I come across a lot of players, they tend to use them. They tend to use aim assist. I believe a majority of players definitely use aim assist, at least on the PlayStation 3. I'm not so sure about the Xbox 360. But it's something I support, and even when using a mouse and keyboard on console with the adapter I use, it's close to what you have on PC, but it's not fully the same. The game itself has limitations on the sensitivity levels that your controls can go, whereas on PC the sensitivity levels are a lot higher. So when I get into, say, a tank or a Jeep, I actually have to use my PlayStation 3 controller. Using a mouse, it doesn't turn as fast in a tank or a Jeep as it would on a PC when I play Battlefield 3 on PC. But it's certainly a big advantage when it comes to 1v1 gunfights and infantry, and the infantry side of Battlefield 3, and it's certainly something I support. I know a lot of people want to see the mouse and keyboard users, if they implement such an action on the console, they want to see those people to be in their own servers. That's not something I support. You support fragmenting the player base even more than it is. We're gonna have Battlefield 4 on even more systems and more platforms than Battlefield 3 was, and Battlefield 3 itself was fragmented because of the premium edition of the game. So it's just not something I support, people being kind of segregated, if you will, to their own servers because they're using a certain control scheme, and there's no way you can tell when someone else is using a mouse and keyboard when you're playing with them on console. And there's certainly no device that Sony would implement to be able to have some that would just be kind of an invasion of privacy, to be able to detect what you're using, another player to be able to detect what you're using. That's certainly something, certainly not something I would support. I definitely support the implementation of mouse and keyboard on the PlayStation 4 and even the Xbox One. I'm still not sure why Xbox was not mentioned, but most likely if they would implement it in PS4, they would definitely do it for Xbox. But guys, that's going to be it for this week. This week's edition of the weekly gaming news. Stay tuned tomorrow. I will have a Battlefield 3 my favorite maps. Do not know which game mode it's going to be. Server populations have been a huge issue lately. But anyways, guys, I really appreciate you supporting me. I appreciate you watching the video. And as always, take care.